Good morning, Brad Holmes from Tai Chi Gold Coast, your contract to the Australian Academy of Tai Chi Qigong, and special thanks to my trainer, Senior Master Rod Ferguson from the Academy, and also special thanks to Samantha Hughes from the Active and Healthy Citywide program, which is sponsored through the City of Gold Coast. All these sessions due to COVID-19, simply because we can't operate in the parks, so that's why we're doing special videos for you. So I want to go through some specialised exercises here, particularly for building up your immune system, coping with the crisis, very good for calming the heart, calming the breath, calming and focusing the mind. And just the simple exercises I just went through just before, you can see the variances there as well. I also want to do some specialised exercises actually for people with low mobility, limited mobility or disabilities as well. So I will be using a chair here as well. So some seated exercises, and that's why the exercises are not just for standing, but you can adapt the exercises as to what you need. Everybody has special needs, and we all have different medical history. So coming back into center, coming back to basics, just imagine a couple of pendulums from shoulders, actually just going down to heels. You can see how my legs are bent here, just coming over just a little bit further. Key point is just relax. So sinking back into posture, I have my hands here on my quadriceps, so I feel the movement when we do come up. We expand through the body, we open up all the spaces through the discs, and then we just simply, gently retract. So from here, what I want to do is actually just expel as much resident stowaway air within the body. The breath starts from the diaphragm, it comes through the internal organs, it comes up into the lungs, it expands through the chest, and this is why we're projecting up through the top of the head, opening up all the spaces through the discs, we're projecting up through the top of the head. So we have a vertical axis here, we also have a horizontal axis through the chest as well. So even just very simple exercises like this. Turning over hands. And I'm just going to run through some very simple flow exercises. Easy to do, easy to remember. So there's days when you want to do a little bit more, and I always suggest going down first, and that way we expand up. So what I'm doing here is actually just sinking down into posture and just expanding up through the chest and through the arms. Just going slowly, just going gently. There's no rush, there's no hurry. No need. Absolutely no need at all. And this is why we talk about in the Tai Chi and Qigong exercises as well, mindful awareness. Being mindfully aware of your movement, of how your body works and how to work with it, please. So we expand at the bottom, we extend up through the spine, we extend up through the chest. This is the yin aspect here, so I'm breathing out, it's like a neutral position, and then when I do come up, this is the yang. Extending and releasing. So we normally take a breath in through the nose and also out through the nose as well. We can also do what we call cleansing breath as well. So we can go in through the nose. We have the tongue on the top of the palate, so as if we're saying the letter L, and expanding out the air. In Chinese medicine, this is about expanding the lung energy, in fact building and strengthening through the lungs as well. We can also have a situation where we can just get up to here. Palms are out at the side, so focus is on the palms to push. And then simply just release. As you can see, we don't need a lot of space. And that's why we'll demonstrate it with a chair as well. We can also turn over back of palms as well. To push, to project. I do have some students who can't take their arms up, or one or two hands up further than the shoulders. So I do suggest just to here. So you could always just push out to the sides to there. Sinking back into posture, we just release the arms. See how the hands are just nice and loose. So always just be loose, agile and flexible, only going as far as what you feel comfortable. And it doesn't matter how many repetitions you make. There'll be some days you want to do a little bit, other days you want to do a little bit more, and be perfectly human. There'll be other days you want to do a lot more. That's fine. We can come back. I personally like these sort of exercises where we push down as if we have two stable benches here. We push up and we just release. These are great exercises for the back as well. As far as what I've read, I understand that at least 85% of people have back problems, a significant back problem, at least once in their life. So these are very good exercises for backs. I had chronic back pain many years ago. I don't have those problems anymore. And I would attribute that to doing the exercises. Tai Chi simply means to balance, or to bring the body back into balance. We break the word Qigong into two words. Qi means vital energy. So you can spell that Qi or Chi. Gong means work. So some people say they do Tai Chi, some people say they do Qigong. From the Australian Academy of Tai Chi and Qigong, we say we do both. When you talk about one, you really talk about the other. They're brother-sister relationships. So balanced work energy. Easiest way to say it. We can also push out to 45-degree angles, so it's like this. I personally like to rotate through the wrist, so we get the rotation here, through the shoulder joint as well, through the elbow, through the wrist, and also the extension going out through the fingers. So we can project through the palm and through the fingers. We can release, and we can also just go out the other way. Great exercises also for any arthritic condition actually within the fingers, any inflammatory condition there, any lack of circulation. And you see how my body is actually just projecting up as we breathe in. Again, this is the yang aspect because it is the expansion. When I come down, when I release the air, this is the yin. So opposite yet complementary. One begets the other. So it's endless cycle. And that's what the Tai Chi exercise, Tai Chi Qigong exercises emphasize. Endless energy cycle. So very good for circulation, but very good for bringing energy back into the body. This is one of my favorite exercises as well. Coming back to here, up. We sink back into posture. Hands just coming up to the shoulders. We're rolling over the fingers. What you can physically do is actually just count the joints as you do. See how I just have soft fists, so nothing tense. And then when I push down with my palms, with my wrists, I project up with my body. I release the hands, my body comes back down again as well. Coming around, scooping, projecting. So the body is back to support the movement. We've formed that safe foundation. I always talk about that. Always form a safe foundation before you do the exercise. Take that extra second, and this is anything that you do. And then you extend out the hands, rolling over the wrists, pushing down, extending up. So there's a point there we just have to release. So nothing tense. We don't hold tension. We release tension. This is the elegant white crane, greets the dawn. It's from the Dao Yin series. Augmented by the legendary Yongti, the yellow emperor at this stage, some 4,500 years ago. And he noticed that the soldiers were wounded in battle, but at various points, like this point here, just at the end of the elbow, colon 11, and also Hegu, colon 4, fourth point on the colon meridian as well, it would solve their constipation or help them with headaches as well. So Tai Chi actually comes from Chinese culture, from Chinese medicine, from observation of all living things, and also from Chinese martial arts as well. So a combination, a collaboration. And that's what I also suggest actually within the body, working with the body. We work best as one unit. It's like your car. Different components, but everything's got to work in unison. We look to our left-hand side and we project out just with the shoulders. We roll over the fingers and come down. This is particularly good for the heart breathing, which actually runs underneath the armpit. Comes out to little finger out here on both sides. We also have the lung breathing, which comes out to second finger on both sides as well. So we've done the left-hand side. We come back into the center, extending out and rolling back. And we look to our right-hand side. The elegant white crane greets the dawn. So particularly good for the lungs, building up the energy, building up the immune system from within, and also very good for the heart. So any heart problems, any palpitations, any irregularity of the heart, high blood pressure, very, very good for that. Simple exercise as well, relaxing the arms. And some of these exercises I'll repeat, actually just doing seated as well. So we come back to neutral. Always suggest the sides of the body, when we do come back to the sides of the body, as a neutral station, as a changing station, actually in the direction of the exercise. We push towards the back. So we're projecting out through the palms, extending through all the joints in the fingers. Breathing out. When we do breathe in, you can see how we extend up through the body. So an arm exercise which utilises all the other aspects of the body, yes. A lot of the Tai Chi exercises do. If you wish, you can also just come up on the toes. So we project up through the toes. Anytime when we do project up through the toes, very good for strengthening through the feet. We have 26 bones in each feet as well. The tarsals, very good for the muscles, tendons, ligaments, also wrapping around bone as well. So in Chinese medicine, they see bone as actually a living organ, which I quite agree with as well. It's wrong, but it also has to be very flexible. And one of my favourite exercises, this is the first exercise from Shibashi X. This is a willows, twisting the breeze. So we just start with soft fists like this. And as my veteran students would know, I always ask, oh, what's the name of this exercise? I had one lady who said, motorbike. And I said, yep, you're right. So as if it's like a motorbike. So we just come forward and back, and then we go from inside to the outside. I love the exercises which are progressive, and this one certainly is. Very good for all the joints actually within the wrist and also the fingers. And you'll see how we project up. So we come back. I'm just doing flow exercises at the moment. This is all to loosen up the body. And yes, this one's good for the chest. So when we do project up, we heighten through the chest and just relax. Very good for breathing. Calming the breath, calming the heart, calming and focusing the mind. The willows, twisting the breeze. First exercise from Shibashi X. We come up with shoulders. This is an excellent exercise actually just for loosening shoulders. I get at least 30% of my students actually come along with stiff shoulders. So usually it can be from work. Usually is attributed to emotional distress there with anxiety, anger, frustration. So this is a way of loosening up the emotions, loosening up the body at the same time. Projecting. One of my other favourite exercises is this one from Shibashi 2. or shibashura, we project back. Very good for backs. I'll turn around for you. Very good for the chest, because we heighten through the chest. So a number of options we can do here. We can project back like this. We can also project down. We can also project at a 45-degree angle as well. So coming back to that original exercise, hands starting out like this. It's like you're making a presentation. I always say, it's like you cut slices of oranges for the kids. So come back. We breathe in as we come towards the body. When we get towards the sides here, we project back. You can also just take some time out here, just massaging the kidneys. If you do have any kidney or renal problems, very, very good. The bladder meridians, which actually go down the sides of the back as well, and also the kidneys are part of the water element. So this is about strengthening through the back. We project back. Breathing in. Hands rolling over, just coming up to the shoulders. When we come out to the front, just relaxing hands. The farmer grinds the corn. Breathing in. You can also breathe in and breathe out at any stage. Please do not hold your breath. Nothing stressful, nothing tense. It's all about relaxation. Or as we say, it's also, Tai Chi is about relaxation, also relax action. So coming back. This is very good for strengthening through the back as well. This is the Lohan music which I'm playing at the moment. I literally just wanted to let the track just run. I will be doing Lohan exercises as we get closer to winter, starting to cool down here in winter. Heading towards winter anyway in Australia. It doesn't really get cold on the Gold Coast. But I will be doing Lohan 1 and also Lohan 2 as we progress. Coming back to here. An essential exercise which I would suggest actually in the morning as well. It's this one here. We sink back into posture. This one's good. So from the belly button we come up. So we breathe in, we come up to the eyes, we roll over hands. And we breathe out. We rotate through the waist, always rotating through the waist please, to the left hand side. Breathing in. Now, two ways of doing this. We can come down to here. We can come back to the waist. We can breathe in. And breathing out. And we can go out to our right hand side, again rotating through the waist. So, the waist is made, the abdominals are made for rotating through the hips. This makes the hips very strong. Particularly the bones, particularly the pelvic girdle. Very good for circulation, very good for all the abdominal muscles. Actually, it's a gentle massage for internal organs as well. Another way of doing this exercise, we come over, we breathe in as we come up on the left hand side, and then we're coming back to the centre. We breathe out. See how I sink back into posture, just relax. So we've got to breathe out to breathe in again. We breathe in. Coming up to the eyes, and then we turn through the waist and we breathe out as we go to the right hand side. We breathe in. So just making that a full and flowing action for you. This is also, all the Tai Chi exercises are very good for your balance and coordination as well. You notice how my legs are strong. Rotating through, it's like pivot with the foundation. But also I'm rotating through the hips here. Making sure you have good alignment actually with the knees, so that we're not getting knees out of alignment or ankles. the center. Up, sinking back into posture. Projecting up through the spine. For my new students, I do get them to do this with the fingers go across the ears into the center, and also from the nose. There's a point up here called Bai Wai, in Mandarin Bai Wai, meaning 100 points. As an acupuncturist in the 80s, I used to needle this point to draw the treatment together. Brings it all together. So from here, arms just flop. Always suspend loose, agile, flexible please. So we rotate through the hips. We look around the shoulders as much as you can, looking over shoulders. And arms just flop. Swinging arms. Very good for warming the body in winter, but cooling the body in summer. Excellent exercise to do. And I would suggest this exercise, I'll be going through this one in winter as well. So we come down, sinking back into posture. See how I just come down. So out of expansion, out of contraction, we have expansion. So the contraction is the yin aspect, exhausting the star wear as much as possible. And then we have expansion. This is the yang. This is the butterfly. Love the butterfly. Very good for shoulders as well. Very good for backs, opening up all the spaces through the discs. This is a great exercise for opening the chest. So this is very good for people with asthma, bronchitis, cystic fibrosis, emphysema. And just to change that exercise again, we come up to here, we go to a right to a left hand side. See how I have my right arm just extending, nice relaxed again. Loosen the shoulders, not tight, just towards my left. My left hand is actually just behind my back. So we breathe in, and we breathe out. This is flight of the white crane, or white crane in flight. Turn around for you, so you can see that action. Excuse me. So again, very good for expanding through the chest, projecting up, opening up all the spaces through the discs, projecting up through the top of the head as well. Very good for the pelvic girdle, very good for hips, very good for knees, very good for ankles. We'll just do one more on the left hand side. And we come back to the center. Just relaxing. Coming down to hips. Hands on the hips like this. This is hip rotation. We also do this exercise in the 8 golden treasures as well. Very good for abdominals. If we sit too long, always say please do not sit too long. If you're at the computer, I'm very aware of this. We're getting up half-hour intervals, doing Tai Chi exercises, loosening up. It's very good for circulation, particularly important for people with diabetes 1 and 2, because they can lose circulation actually in their feet and their toes. Very good for heart patients as well, because everything just drains. And also very good so that we don't suppress and repress the organs, and that's what happens when we sit too long. So also just winding down like a spring, very good for balance and coordination. And you notice, I hope you do feel that feeling also within your feet. So we have the rotational aspects there. So very good for hips, knees, and also ankles. We come back into center, transferring weight out the right hand side, always making sure we have a safe environment first, safe sitting, both knees bent. We step out with that left foot to there and rotate. Excuse me, my weight is actually just going directly down. Now it looks like just a toe exercise, but it's actually exercising the whole foot, the knee, and also the hip as well. We place that left foot down, transferring weight over the left hand side, making sure that's safe first, setting up a safe environment, stepping up with that left foot to there, and rotating. And also the other one. Placing that right foot down, transferring weight over the right hand side, stepping out to here. This is one of my favourite exercises. I love to do this one. So, with our foot in this position here, we breathe in. As we breathe out, we gently and progressively push to the outside. We breathe in as we come back into centre, and then gently and progressively push towards the inside. So, this is a case of, I'm sure many people have gone over on their feet, particularly ladies with the high heels, got in awkward positions. And particularly athletes on courts, tennis players, football players, netball players on court. So this is a way of gently stretching all the muscles, tendons, ligaments actually around the feet. And also the most important thing is you're in control of your body. We come back in centre, placing that left foot down, making sure that's secure and safe first. We transfer weight out the left hand side. We come out to here. You can step out a little bit further. I'm just doing a short distance here. So we breathe in, and as we breathe out, we gently and progressively push towards the outside. We come back. And also on the inside as well. So our upper body, our middle part of the body is centered. It looks like it's passive from this part on. I always think of it as actively passive, because what we have is the support. We have that centeredness going down. And that's why I talk about a couple of pendulums. Always imagine a couple of pendulums from shoulders actually going down to heels. So we have that centering, that long axis of the skeleton coming down, so that we actually have that foundation to project up. Coming back to here, breathing in as we breathing out, as we push towards the inside and coming back. I'll use the chair now. Excuse me. So, I only have half the strength of my left leg. I was barbed by a stingray in March 2016, so I'm getting back with Tai Chi Qigong and also with swimming. I find my best therapies. So coming back to here, so there's an exercise where we can actually come down, we sink back into posture, going down on that right foot, we raise the left. Think of a string actually just on the kneecap itself, so you notice how I do go down, bending both knees please, so we're not running bone against bone. I place that left foot down, again, no rush, no hurry, I'll just take this out just a touch, just out to there. So what I'm using as a support. So sinking back into posture, I come down on the left side, and that's how I'm able to bring up my right foot. And just coming up directly. So this is a very good strength loading exercise, muscle loading exercise. And that's why please envisage the muscles, tendons, ligaments actually wrapping around bone, so they actually strengthen bone externally, but also internally as well. So simple exercise to do. And coming back. And just to follow on from there, sitting into a chair. May I suggest any chair, you might have the most ergonomically designed chair in the world, but if we don't sit into it properly, there's no point. We're slumped over, particularly people on devices like computers, small screens, etc. That can happen. So what I'm suggesting is, again, just relax, always relax, so we don't have tension. Legs just coming out like this, and also feet, you see how they're spaced. They're taking that weight actually through the, again we have that pendulum which comes down from the shoulders out to the feet. So we have the support from the feet through the legs, coming back into the spine, then projecting up through the top of the head. So we're balanced, going down, and also we're balanced coming up. That's the whole point. From here, you can do all kinds of exercises from here. So coming up. So who says you have to stand to do Tai Chi? One of my favourite exercises, separating the clouds from Shivashi 1. We can also turn through the base as well. I do suggest a chair, even a bench, like this table here, but there's no sides. It's a little bit hard to do with the sides of the chair. So we turn through the waist here, and we project up. A little bit limited in some ways, but doing some light, gentle exercises is better than doing nothing. If we do nothing, we go backwards. And we turn to our right hand side. So limited space, I've deliberately made this area just very limited space. You can see how I have to go around. I might just come forward, excuse me. I don't think this is going to cut things off. Yep, a little bit more space. First of all, make sure you have good posture. It's not just good posture correction, it's also good postural alignment. In other words, there's no point just doing it once. We have to practice it each and every day. And also how we stand as well. So sinking back into posture. The movement we do from the lotus, and I will take you through the lotus again. So we come out. And this is just a flow exercise from this. The exercise actually from the lotus, sinking back into posture. This is the snow rabbit, digs the earth. And always think of the air just being scooped into the diaphragm, into the internal organs, into the lungs. So we lift through the chest, we lift through the back. We get to a point where we have to expire the air out. And you see how my wrists really just flowing over each other. So I can actually just do a small exercise here, just a flow exercise. See how the wrists are just flowing over. It doesn't matter which hand you've got in front. And also we can just do that exercise from the back. Or backwards, I should say. You can also just turn through the waist again. Scooping. Lifting. Connecting. Releasing. And we can come back into center. This is the yin aspect. This is the yang. This is the expansion. This is the contraction. And going over to our right hand side, so you can play with this exercise. I always suggest you can modify, certainly you can modify the exercises because we all have different medical history. But as long as you're doing them safely, you can expand. An exercise I do quite a lot is actually, particularly in summer, underneath the fans. This is stand. Sink back into posture and just feel the air. And that way you're getting the circulation. I know in Europe and America you'll be coming into your summer. That's right, so you're getting the circulation actually through all the epidermis, the outside of the skin as well, particularly underneath the armpits. Most people do get sweaty underneath that, and also across the chest as well. Scooping, gathering. So again, we can have this emphasis here coming up. A very simple exercise to do is actually just coming around like this. In Australia, I always think of the ladies who put on their hats at Melbourne Cup Day. First Tuesday in November. So they're putting their hair, just adjusting their hair, and putting on the hats and adjusting the hats, of course. This is an excellent exercise actually for all the shoulders, for the elbows, all the joints of the wrist, and also the fingers as well. And coming back. Simple exercise to do. Remember the one we did before? So we can actually just push out. Actually, I'll do two exercises here. We come back into center, and if I'm allowed, we can push towards the back. Take that over just like that. So we can push. Breathing out, breathing in. So you're not limited in many ways. You actually have more options if you sit. There's some days, there's some students who stand for part of the session and then they sit. And that's fine. And then they stand up again, or else they remain seated. No problem at all. Pushing. Releasing. The exercises doing before is actually just rotating. Just relaxing the arm. So you have relaxation here, here, also to here, and also to here. We have rotation in all those areas. Very good for any tension within the shoulders. And again, expansion and contraction through the chest. So we can incorporate the cleansing breath as well. And I always do suggest that. So breathing in through the nose and then expelling through the mouth. And it's really the body which is actually not just allowing that expulsion, but also activating it. So we're starting down here from the diaphragm, through the internal organs, coming up into the lungs. So the body is actually doing the work. I think the hardest part is actually just breathing in, that long and flowing breath all the way in. But if we don't empty the lungs, then we can't take, all we're doing is just topping up with air, and that's virtually nothing. So breathing in. And expelling the air as well. Okay. Number of exercises here we can just do with feet. I'll just go through a couple of exercises here. This is what I do at a retirement village. So increases circulation, increases awareness, increases sensitivity as well. So just with my hand here on the right leg like this, all I'm doing is actually just bringing up my left foot and coming back. Pushing down. Well, it's actually not even a push, it's really just a rest with my left hand and just raising my right foot as well. I call this one the $50 note, because when the foot comes up, you can slip a note underneath. And also, we're not just feeling that in the leg as well. Projections coming up like a string on the knee, but also we have that foundation coming through the hips and projecting up through the back. In fact, if you feel that, I can actually feel that in my abdominals. And also, I can feel that in my lower back, so the lumbar region there. So it isn't just the leg, it's the incorporation of the whole body, in inclusion, incorporation as well. And that's what the exercises are for. Okay, so some interesting things there. I will continue that series for you. Please give me feedback as to what you want, what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like included. I do appreciate that in your comments. So I'll continue with some more exercises here. I'll just put the chair aside. So coming up, it is a very heavy but very stable wooden chair. Coming back. Okay, I had some very good comments actually about doing Mind Power Qigong, my last session, which would have been last Thursday, that's right. So I'll continue that for you. Always suggest preparation. We're always preparing for something. So this exercise is projecting up and sinking back in posture. I'll just come out a little bit further, please. Very good load-bearing exercise. It's like preparing to sit into a chair, or it's like preparing to, from that seated position to actually come out. Feet are upon the ground. We want the support through the feet, through the legs, but also we want the continued projection up through the spine, the support of the spine to actually come up into an upright position. Please, not stiff, always suspend loose, agile, flexible. So, quiet standing, standing Zen. Hands releasing. Connecting with the earth, but reaching for the sky. Sinking back into posture, relaxing into your posture, relaxing into your body. And then expanding again. Extending, releasing. Very powerful exercise, very ancient exercise as well. Waving arms in the air and the horse riding stance. So we sink back into posture. And as we come up, we project the hands forward in such a way so that they're nice and loose, coming up to the shoulders. It's like the shoulder is actually projecting out and waving the hands through the air from the shoulder. See how we sink back into posture again. Breathing in as we come up. Breathing out as we come down. Waving arms in the air and the horse riding stance. Calming the chi. Imagine you're standing in front of a card table. So it comes up to about waist high. And with your fingers, what we're doing is actually rolling out these pencils underneath the fingers as we breathe in, out to the palms. And as we breathe out, we retract. We breathe out. Rolling the fingers out. Rolling the pencils out. So breathing in. And breathing out. Sinking back into posture. Imagine you're standing between two card tables, and as much as possible on each side, what we're doing with our fingers and the palms is again rolling out the pencils as we breathe in. As we retract, we breathe out. Connecting with the earth. Reaching for the sky. Coming back into center. Imagine you're between two mountains. And emphasis is here on the palms. Palms pushing out as much as possible. So as we breathe in, we push the mountains. And as we breathe out, we retract. Excellent exercise for calming the breath, calming the heart, calming and focusing the mind. Exercise not just from this session here, but also from Shibashi X. The black bear pushes the rock. So imagine a very heavy object down here. And this is what you see a lot of weightlifting athletes do. They pick up the object, wherever it is, adjust their position, adjust their posture position, adjusting the hands. You see how the body is back to project the hands forward and just to release as we come back. The black bear pushes the rock, sinking back into posture. So we breathe in, we breathe out. We breathe in, long and flowing breath if you wish. You can always breathe out along the way. And we breathe out as we stand and just relax. You can also breathe in to this point here and then breathe out again. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Connecting with the earth. Reaching for the sky. I love this next exercise. It's the first Tai Chi exercise I've learned while I was in Adelaide. Picking up something very heavy. We come up to the waist like this. We sink back into posture. In other words, we're supporting the load. Supporting the load not just through the back, but through the whole body. We come up to the eyes, rolling over, and then pushing up. You can extend, you can come up on the toes if you wish to extend as far as what you wish, for as long as what you wish, and then just coming back. And there's a number of related exercises to that movement alone. And we come back. Heavenly lift. And again, just breathing in and breathing out at any stage. Just take your time. No rush, no hurry, no need. Do one more. Mind Power Qigong. Very good meditative exercise. Very good calming, relaxing exercise. And that's why I do it. I think that's why my students like it as well. Okay, so I'm going to go into the lotus. You can practice that breathing exercise as well. Again, just in through the nose. And we normally just exit through the nose as well, which is fine because we do get that filtration through the nostrils with all the hairs, etc. It's an extra and necessary passage, actually, the air coming down. In winter, it warms the air for the lungs. In summer, it actually cools the air for the lungs as well. So it does help the airflow, prepares the air for the lungs. When we use that cleansing breath, we come in through the nose. And we expel as much as possible. Being mindfully aware of your, down here as well, through the abdominals, coming up through the lungs as well, to, is that full expansion? Expansion through contraction. And we start from the diaphragm. Waving arms in the air in the horse riding stance. Gentle massage through the kidneys, also incorporating the bladder meridians as well. Turtle treads water. So imagine your arms like the fins of a turtle. We cross over the arms, we project the head through, holding onto the shoulders and squeezing the shoulders as much as possible to expel that air. So out of contraction, out of the yin aspect, we have the expansion. We have the yang, yin and yang. Opposite yet complementary. One leads to the other. Snow rabbit digs the earth. I always imagine the breath coming in through the diaphragm, into the internal organs, into the lungs, and just releasing. Scooping fresh spring water, pouring upon the land. The lotus flower blooms over the swamp. And the rains fall down. So always imagine just pulling down on straps and then pushing up again. Emphasis is on the palms to project, coming up on the toes if you wish. Again, to project as far as what you wish, for as long as what you wish. And then just releasing. So we just follow the same path down. Where we went up, we simply just follow that path down. Right hand is on the right hip, so as if a dog is jumping up. So we pat dog down. Left hand, we scoop into the palm. So we breathe in as we come up to center line. We turn through the hips. We sink back into posture and we project. Can't push any further, so we just release. Turn waist. Push hands, or to push the door, or to push the temple door, or to face the wind, or to push the palm, or to press the wind. Both hands just coming back to the belly button to lift the sky. Coming up to the eyes. To press the earth. Always bending from the waist, bending from the knees, please. Only going down as far as what you feel comfortable. To scoop, to gather. So we press up through the feet, through the legs, projecting up through all the spaces through the discs. Right hand pushes down as if we're pushing down on a bench. The left hand pushes up. So projection through the palm again. The elegant white crane stretches its wings in the morning sun. This is one of the best diagonal stretches you can do through the chest, through the front part of the body, the yin aspect, and through the back, which is the yang. Last two exercises, snow rabbit digs the earth. And we start the form, we finish the form with waving arms in the air in the horse riding stance. And may I suggest quiet standing. So hands is placed just below the belly button, the dantian, center of energy. Quiet standing. Standing Zen. Hands releasing. I'm Brad Holmes from Tai Chi Gold Coast, contracted to the Australian Academy of Tai Chi Qigong. We have these sessions Tuesday and Thursday. They're on my Facebook page under Tai Chi Gold Coast event page, and also share them to Brad Holmes as well as to Tai Chi Gold Coast as well. Also on YouTube as well. So look forward to seeing you next. Next live session will be this Thursday, 2 days time, and that's 8 to 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Stay safe, stay well, stay healthy. Thank you.